Hi, I'm Leisa Holland-Nelson, and welcome to Women Mean Business, where we're going to chat with extraordinary women who are shattering glass ceilings every day, running companies, starting nonprofits, and changing the ways we navigate and view our world. My guest today is Frances Crossingham, Senior Principal with Slalom. I'm impressed. Frances, welcome to Women Mean Business.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm so excited to meet you. I've heard so much about you, and I want you to tell me about you and Slalom, what you're doing there, what the company does, everything I need to know.
Sure. Well, first of all, I've only been there for a couple of months, but I've been in consulting for almost 15 years.
Wow.
But Slalom, by far, has been one of the best consulting firms I've been for, just simply because of the culture. They really value families. They really value women and diversity, which is huge right now to many people. And I've enjoyed my last couple of months there.
Where were you before? And when you say consulting company, define what that is.
Sure. So management, business consulting. And before Slalom, I was at Ernst & Young. And before that, I was at Accenture, or Arthur Andersen is known by many.
Yes.
So those have been my three main ones I've been at. But I have loved consulting. For me, I'm one of those people that when I got out of college, I wanted to do something exciting and new and learn something every day. That's consulting, because no matter what you do at the client side, the next day you probably are going to do something completely different. So it changes things up.
And you're good if they don't listen to you.
Yes, that's the main thing about consulting is you have to pause and listen to your client. And a lot of times what they say they need may not necessarily be what they need. And so you have to take that back, listen to it, play it back to them. And they're like, oh, wait, actually, that's what I needed. So it's a lot of listening, active listening, pausing. And consulting in itself is just being their friend and being a strategic partner.
So are you writing strategic plans for them or branding, or what do you specialize in?
Personally, I specialize in organizational effectiveness, so change management. Talking to clients about any big transformation happening in their company. So that can be a technology, that can be a culture change, or as we learned last year, that could be a whole workforce change. All of a sudden, everyone's having to work remote at home.
Yes. Are y'all making plans for bringing employees back? Is that a big piece of your business?
That is, but also looking at the workforce of the future. So different skill sets. So as we know, skill sets are something that are very important to your job and what you're going to be doing, and technology is a huge part of that. But we have now in the workplace many different generations. So you have people that are in their 50s and 60s and people that are in their 20s. They all have different skill sets. They've all interacted with technology in different ways throughout their career. And so how do you piece that together to be effective? And how do you bring that change all together? So a lot of times in consulting now, any main change you have is going to be around technology and transformation. And that's what we really do at Slalom, was like we look down the road of saying, okay, this is where your company is now, but where do you want to be? Not just now, but beyond. And the main thing is how are you going to get all this amazing knowledge transition done to these younger people? Because you have people that have been doing the industry, pick any industry, for 40 years that have the knowledge, but yet they may not necessarily have the skills and tools to do the way it's done now, but yet they have it in their heads. So how do you, 6 generations of people, of ages, like how do you get that knowledge into the younger people, but with tools that the older people don't know how to use? I mean, the world is different now.
That I think is so interesting, and that's probably because I'm at the top of the 6 generations, is so many people are expecting us to just mentor, just give back, just give away, and be ready to walk away, which we're not.
No, you're not.
I'm starting something new today.
Yes.
So it's like, I'm not walking away. I'm not retiring.
Yes.
So not that I don't want to help the next generation, but I'm not giving my spot up to them.
Absolutely not. And I also think it's interesting because you'll see a lot of really great digital technology platforms come in, AI, robotics, all these great, amazing things that are coming in. However, those only really work if the data and the knowledge put into them are accurate.
By a person.
That's right, by a person. Right. And a lot of times that data and that knowledge put in by that person is typically older, right? So we have to, how do we put that all together? How do we manage that change? How do we make that effective? And that's really what we do in the organizational effectiveness department at Slalom, is you manage that. And I always say it's not really change management, it's change maintenance, I think, as we know now. It's
so
maintenance.
Interesting.
Yes.
I had a consulting business once in 95, 6, and 7. Okay, so 25 years ago. And our tagline was, technology doesn't make technology work, people do.
No,
and
absolutely.
Nothing has changed.
Absolutely.
I'm in the technology business now. And our business we're an SEO company. We're online. We're getting seen. We're on the first page of everything. Our business is referral based. I mean,
it's still people driven.
It's our clients sending the next client there.
Yes.
I mean, sure, maybe 10% comes through Google, but the truth is we've grown so much because we've done good work.
Right.
And people talk about it.
And humans matter. I think we've realized that from COVID as well in 2020. Humans matter. How we work with each other matters. And that's I think a special takeaway from a very hard year is realizing that.
So do you have all different programs already created to work through this, or are you creating new strategies and new programs all the time?
I would say you anchor on a couple of things that are consistent. Obviously, unlocking value, putting people first, having a good strategic plan to move forward. But a lot of times clients want things customized. And I also love that about consulting. Another reason why I got into it at a young age is you want to be creative. You know, not everything's going to work for one client as it did for, the other. And that's where you get into getting to know your client, asking them those questions, listening to them, and bringing a creative solution to their probably unique problem.
How long does a consulting project last? Are you with your client for life, or?
Well, that's interesting. I would say majority of my clients are now friends, very good friends. And so they'll be, pick up that phone if they have a challenge or issue and call you, and you'll talk it over the phone just for a couple hours. Or it could be a project that could go on for months or years. But I would say the typical project usually lasts a couple months, a couple quarters. However, big system implementations, those could take years.
Yes.
But your main goal is, you're in the relationship business.
Right.
Like you're in the creating that friendship, that partnership where they can pick up the phone and call you anytime and talk to you about anything. And that's really, they say it's consulting, and it is, but it's really partnering. It's partnering and becoming friends and always being there for them as an outside perspective. And so they can last any length of time, but you build that friendship forever.
So I'm guessing business development is a piece of your job.
It is.
Yeah, which is relationship management, obviously.
It is.
And
good work goes to good reputation, goes back
right.
to good projects, and happy, win-win for everybody. And that's true. I guess at the end of the day with consulting, you're really just selling relationships and good work. You're not selling a widget or a software. You're selling yourself.
It's exciting, I think.
I love it. A lot of times when you first get out of college, you're in a career fair, and they come to you and they're saying, yes, you do this every day, the exact same thing every day, or you'll be doing this, at the same office every day. But for me, I was like, I want to try out a bunch of different things. Like I want to be meeting different people, learning different skills, different tool sets, and I would recommend anyone that wants to do something like that, get into consulting.
Right.
Because that's where you grow, and every day is different. Okay, not every day, but a lot of the times it's different. Yes, right. And every problem you come across is unique.
I know this has been a crazy year for everyone. It's been a pandemic year.
Yes.
You changed jobs in the pandemic year. But you're also a mom.
I am.
So tell us how you've handled all of that together.
Right. I would say you, as a mom, and also as a woman, and also as a professional, you have to know to ask for help when you need it and who to go to, and keep your networks close. And I think, if anything, 2020 taught us that people need people. When you isolate yourself, that's never a good thing. So, rely on others and ask for help when you need it. And I think that, I really learned that. Like I grew closer with a lot of my team members and colleagues during COVID, because all of a sudden you're not just meeting in the workplace, you're seeing their homes. You're seeing their children run back and forth between the screen. You're hearing the dog that they always talk about. And I think that's kind of special in a way. Like you grow close to that. And also I think it gave people more time to be home. It was easier. It was easier to tell, one of my colleagues, hey, I have to go because my daughter needs me, because they physically could hear her needing me, right? Versus if I was in a work meeting in a building, they're just seeing me on my phone saying I need to leave. So I think that made it more relatable in some ways. And that's kind of strange because we were remote, but it did. It brought people closer in a lot of ways.
And as a consultant, I know you are looking at the new workplace, and I think we're all sort of agreeing there'll be some sort of hybrid model.
There definitely will be, and also new skills. Having to know how to navigate that remote workplace, that's going to be really big. Using technology and digitalization, that's going to be really big. I think moving forward in whatever industry you work in, technology is going to be something that's going to be critical.
I'm happy about that.
Me
My
too.
last question for you is, you're very successful. And I think it's so exciting. And I would love for you to share with other women how you feel about what you have to do to achieve this kind of success.
You have to understand you can have it all, just not at the same time. You have to prioritize and be intentional about that. There's only so much time in a day, only so much energy, and you have to be intentional and prioritize where you want that to go in different places in your life at different times. And I remember I had a mentor a long time ago tell me, if you want to focus on your career, focus on that. If you want to focus on, really being great and being a mom at home, focus on that. But be intentional about what you do it and take time to think about it before you try to do everything all at the same time. So that was really powerful for me. And then 2, I would say resilience and flexibility. Just understand that things take time, and you're going to have to be flexible at times and learn to do that. And then last is stewardship. What you give to the world is what it's going to keep of you. And so I believe a lot of times with women in the workplace, we love to give back, we love to help other women. I think that's important, but also just remembering that anything I do is going to have an impact on others, and how could that happen in a good way? And so that's something I've always tried to do with other women, is find someone to coach, find someone to mentor, because someone did that for me, so you pay it forward. So those would be the 3 kind of things I would anchor to that have helped me.
Thank you very much.
You're
I think
very
that's
welcome.
extraordinary advice.
Oh,
thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
You've been tuned in to Women Mean Business. I'm your host, Leisa Holland-Nelson.